Alex never finished college. He bounced between freelance gigs, he couch surfed for a year and watched his peers climb corporate ladders while he built nothing but a notebook full of ideas. Today, he sits across from Fortune 500 CEOs, not as their staffer, but as their advisor. The guy with no credentials became the one that they all call for when they need perspective that money can't buy. Maria had it all on paper. Nice job, corner office, but something just fell off for her and one day she couldn't take it. She walked away from it all. No plan, no safety net. She just signed up to teach yoga in the back room of a struggling wellness center. And now, fast forward to today, and she's the face of a global wellness brand. Her retreats, they sell out a year in advance. She leads with joy and earns more than she ever did in that skyscraper. Now let's talk about Jamie. For years, she worked as a barista, making lattes in a sleepy tourist cafe. She had no follower, no fan base, nothing to sell. One night though, she shared a reel on Instagram. It was raw, unfiltered. She talked about what it meant to feel stuck and want more. That post, it changed everything for her. Now, today, Jamie teaches purpose, not from a pedestal, but from experience. She never launched a course or never sold a single product, but her personal brand, it was viral, it's magnetic, and for her, it's profitable. All from showing up as herself. Alex, Maria, Jamie, none of them had connections. None of them had money. None of them followed the usual playbook. They all had every reason to fail, so how did they win? See, they unlocked something that most people don't even know that they have. Hidden capital. No, it's not what's in your bank account. It's in your mind, it's in your spirit, it's in your presence, your timing, it's in how you see the game and how you create leverage from what others overlook. Today, we're here to unlock it. Wake up, world, and welcome to Unseen Game. I'm Pablo, and this is where we unlearn the life we were taught to accept and tap into the life we were meant to live. From when we were young, we're all raised to chase one kind of capital. I'm not talking about money, but what money results from. Professional capital. The resume, the degree, the job title, 12 years of school, 4 years of college, a lifetime spent learning how to perform, but not to direct. We're trained to follow a path, not to build one. And if you ever step off script, you're warned that you're throwing your future away. But here's the twist. People who win the game, they don't just master their professional capital. They stack it with 3 others you were never taught to name. This here is a framework developed by a successful entrepreneur and investor named Peter Tan. Let's take a dive into it and break it all down. So Peter outlines 4 capitals. The first of which I just mentioned, that's professional capital. Not just your job skills, but your stack of skills, unique knowledge, the mashup of all your talents and craft wisdom. And when combined, they give you a special leverage that others never see coming. Spiritual capital is not just a belief system, not rituals, not resonance, but the ability to tune into frequencies, timing, flow, and make moves aligned with something deeper than logic. Your persona capital is the X factor, the presence one commands, the thing people feel when you walk into a room, not because you're performing, because you stopped pretending. Your financial capital isn't just cash, it's control, optionality, seeing the unseen flows of value and positioning yourself before the shift comes. These aren't random traits, these are tools. And if you've been playing the game without them, it's no wonder you feel behind. So let's bring them online, one by one. Your professional capital isn't just about being good at your job. It's about seeing something others don't and using it somewhere no one expects. Let's take a look at the life of Leonardo da Vinci. Many know him as a painter, but he was more than just that. He was an anatomist, a biologist. He studied the human form so he can sketch muscle movement accurately. He engineered war machines that would put modern tanks to shame. He designed helicopters 400 years before the Wright brothers ever took flight. See, Da Vinci didn't just stay in his lane, he merged lanes, whether art, science, mechanics, philosophy. And he created leverage that no one else can replicate. It's professional capital. The fusion of talents you didn't even know could be related until someone like Leonardo comes along and makes that lane. Now let's talk about the actress Hedy Lamarr. In the 1940s, she was the darling of Hollywood, a silver screen icon, flawless in every way, framed in light, but at night, she sketched blueprints. She co-invented a radio frequency hopping system that was designed to jam Nazi torpedoes, a system that later became the foundation for Wi-Fi, GPS, Bluetooth technology. Hedy's edge wasn't in her engineering degrees. She didn't have one. It was in how she saw the problem. It was through the lens of rhythm, of timing, and signal, the very things she mastered on screen. See, professional capital is your unfair advantage. Not just what you know, but how your skills and hidden instincts combine in ways that no one else thinks to apply. The more unexpected the crossover, the greater the leverage. So think about what's in your stack that others overlook, what you overlook, and where you might apply it, where no one thinks to. Spiritual capital is the power behind the visible. The ability to move with something deeper than logic and land exactly where you're meant to be. Let's take a look at NBA coach Phil Jackson, who was more than just a coach. He was a mystic in a suit. See, he led teams that included some of the biggest egos in sports history. I'm talking about Michael Jordan. I'm talking about Kobe Bryant. Fierce, ruthless, legendary athletes, but also volatile, distrustful, obsessed with domination. But the playbook that won Phil Jackson his 11 championship rings, it was not just strategy. See, Jackson led with spirit. He taught them how to pause. With Jordan, it was patience. Getting him to trust the team, letting go of control. With Kobe, it was presence. Getting out of his head, learning to listen, not just to teammates, but to silence. Jackson introduced meditation to his players. He gave them books on war, Buddhism, tribal wisdom. He burned sage in the locker rooms. He played Native American flute music in practice. He didn't just train athletes, he cultivated awareness. Somehow it worked. Now picture Bangladesh in 1976. Muhammad Yunus is teaching economics during a famine. In theory, everything makes sense. On paper, the models, they add up. But in reality, people were starving. His students were hungry, and he couldn't explain it away with a chalkboard. So Muhammad walked out of the classroom and into the villages. What he found was devastating in its simplicity. Talented artisans, women making bamboo stools, skilled, productive artisans, but trapped in debt to moneylenders, charging criminal interest. The amount needed to free 42 families of this debt, just $27. And that's when it hit him. The problem here wasn't ability. It wasn't laziness, not even poverty. It was access. A system blind to trust, blind to potential. So Yunus said whatever. He just lent the $27 himself. No paperwork, no collateral, just belief. And they paid it back, every single family. And that's what confirmed what he knew, that this system was wrong. He didn't just build a bank, he reimagined what banking could be. A banking system that ran not on credit scores, but on human dignity, on trust. The microloan wasn't just a financial innovation. It was a spiritual pivot in finance. See, spiritual capital is when you feel the hidden truth. long before data can prove it. It's not about belief, it's about resonance. With waves, with frequencies, with energies, those unseen forces always moving, pulsating, shifting. The question is, are you moving with them? So think about what's guiding you that you can't quite explain. What would happen if you actually listened? Persona capital is your authentic presence, the part of you that speaks before you say a word. I'm not talking about the image we project so that people respect us, but I mean the part of you that makes people feel like they matter, that's authentic. Let's talk about Anthony Bourdain. See, he didn't just travel just to tour. He traveled to connect with strangers from all over the world over food, whether it's street kitchens in Vietnam, dive bars in Beirut, rooftops in Lagos. He didn't enter those spaces as some host or hero coming into the scene. He just entered as human with humility, open, raw, hungry to understand. He didn't try to charm people. He just saw them for who they were. He matched their rhythm, tuned into the moment. He said just enough so that he can shut up and listen. And somehow they opened up. They fed him their food, and then they fed them their truths. It wasn't cuisine that made parts unknown powerful. It was Bourdain himself, exactly as he was. No mask, no polish, no pretending. He showed us what it looks like to move through the world with authentic presence. And for a moment, the world softened in return. Similarly, let's look at José Andrés, a world-class chef who could have just stayed in his restaurants, collected his Michelin stars. But see, when disaster struck, whether it's Puerto Rico, Ukraine, Gaza, he was already there. Before the headlines, before the cameras, before the aid, not with speeches, but with sancocho, with great pans of paella, with food made fresh, fast, made human. Jose doesn't just command attention, he earns trust. He listens before acts, feeds before he speaks. His presence says, all right, yeah, let's figure this out together. And it's not just disaster zones. Through World Central Kitchen, Jose has spent years feeding not just survivors, but presidents, policymakers, military leaders, quietly building a network that now stretches from refugee camps to Capitol Hill. And when systems fail, he doesn't need permission. He already knows who to call, and guess what? They pick up. See, people don't just follow Jose because he's a chef. They follow him because of how he shows up. Persona capital is your vibe, your gravitas. It's what people feel in your silence and trust in your chaos. It's not performance, it's not polish, it's the truth embodied. Those with persona capital don't chase a spotlight. See, the room reorients when they enter. They bring warmth to tension and gravity to noise, and without even asking, they get invited in. So ask yourself, where are you hiding your light? And what would happen if you so dared to let it shine, even when nobody else asks? Financial capital, not just money, it's leverage. The ability to spot the move behind the move, to make it there before anyone sees what's happening. In 1954, Ray Kroc was 52 years old. He was broke, he was divorced, he was tired of dragging milkshake machines across the Midwest. He'd spent decades selling things door to door, paper cups, real estate, whatever might finally hit. And that's when he stumbled across a tiny burger joint in San Bernardino, California. He loved it. It was fast service, it was cheap prices, 2 brothers, 1 kitchen. It wasn't a business, it was a blueprint. Kroc sighed instantly. The system, the speed, the repeatability. And so he franchised it. And he tried to scale it, but see, he kept hitting the same wall. The franchisees were not consistent. They kept changing the menu, cutting corners. They made it messy. And worse, he didn't own the lands, which meant he didn't have any control. And that's when it clicked. That the game, it wasn't burgers, but real estate. So he flipped the model. He bought the land under each new McDonald's. He leased it to the franchisees himself, and now he controlled the location, the build, the terms, the future. That single shift turned him from a struggling salesman into one of the most powerful real estate tycoons in America. Now, let's jump ahead to March 2020. The global markets are plummeting. Oil is worthless. Tech stocks are tanking. Most investors are bailing at breakneck speed. They're hedging, they're hoarding, they're freezing. But not Cathie Wood. While Wall Street panicked, she doubled down. On what? On all the companies people thought were jokes. Roku, Square, Tesla, CRISPR. She bought Bitcoin. She wasn't chasing quarterly returns. She was building a thesis. Her edge wasn't in timing the market. It was in seeing the shift before it became visible. Everyone else was just following momentum. Cathie was following future disruption. She took ridicule from analysts, the press, even her own investors in her fund, and they called her delusional, they called her reckless, and suddenly Tesla explodes, and ARK investment fund soars. And Cathie Wood, once dismissed as a tech optimist with way too much faith, becomes a household name, not because she played it safe, but because she understood the exponential curve and had the conviction to wait for it. Financial capital is what you see beneath the obvious. It's not cash in hand, but leverage in play. Kroc saw land. Wood saw the future. Where the world saw burgers and busted stocks, they respectively saw control and conviction. Financial capital isn't about having money, it's about seeing the game underneath the game and making the move no one else is ready to make. Where are you playing the game on the surface when the real power is hidden underneath? So here's the challenge. Step 1, identify your strongest capital right now. Step 2, start using it intentionally, even just once a week. Talk about it, test it, unlock it, because these capitals, they're already yours. You've just been sleeping on them. You don't need permission. You don't need credentials. You just need to move. That's what this unseen game requires. It's realizing that money isn't the only currency that matters, that the things you've been taught to hide, your weird skill stack, your spiritual compass, your unfiltered presence, they were never weaknesses. They were assets, hidden, untapped, and now unlocked. You, as you are, with the experience, energy, and presence that you carry, already holding value that you just haven't played yet. Build your skills, follow that whisper, show up as your whole self, and look underneath the surface before you move your next pawn. Next time on Unseen Game, we're diving into your attention and how it's hijacked, why we hesitate, and how our dreams might be paralyzing us. Because the world doesn't just reward the obvious, it rewards the aware. Those who realize that you're either playing this game or this game's playing you. I'm Pablo, and this is Unseen Game. Peace.